morning everyone, it's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. Firstly, thank you so much for watching and following me, supporting me, liking my videos and everything else you do. You know, not a day goes by when I don't receive a message from someone saying thank you. So I guess that's why it always prompts me to realize how grateful I am for this journey. So I want to send all my love to you and thank you all for taking your time out just to write those messages. Okay, I'm not going to fiddle around today. I'll get straight into the reading. You know where to find me if you want a personal reading. I'm still sort of battling to get on board of everything, but I feel a little bit more human today, which is really good. So let's get into this reading. We're going to use the Muse reading, the Muse Tarot for your reading. Okay. All right, so we have the Seven of Swords coming straight out. Now, the Seven of Swords is a bit of a funny card for me. I know people always see it as something like people trying to get away with something. I figure, you know, with the foxes all over this one, that's what it implies too. The Seven of Swords in the traditional tarot shows somebody sneaking away with 5 swords and they leave 2 behind, which sort of implies they are trying to get away with stealing something. So when I see the Seven of Swords, I really want to see the cards around before I jump to the conclusion that it may be a drastic card or a bad card. If it comes up in a reading with certain other cards, then absolutely it can be the card of betrayal. Trying to get away with something is the traditional meaning, so it could mean that someone's, you know, cheating. Very often comes up for me when someone's been ghosted. But it does come up to when you're not being told the truth about something. So it always needs to sort of be coupled with something that makes me feel that way. And we do have the devil energy behind it. And I was thinking today, this is a day where I'm going to have to go with the meaning of there has been something perhaps a little tragic or a little unseen here with the devil card behind the Seven of Swords. You could be dealing with somebody who has a very narcissistic personality here, somebody who perhaps put up a different face in the beginning here with the Seven of Swords, because very often if you're dealing with someone who has a very strong ego, then sometimes people can pretend to be there's something they're not. Now, if you're working with somebody like this, we often talk about the person who can talk the talk but never walks the talk, and there's plenty of them out there. These are people who put up a front to the world but never back it up in a way that's healthy. So I feel like here you're dealing with someone who possibly is coming up in this devil energy. Now, don't forget this card represents Capricorn as well. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn who isn't being completely truthful with you, or is trying to get away with something, doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable, but maybe, like all of us, when you're in these situations, you may not be able to completely put your finger on it, but you know in your gut something is not right and you question. So we have the devil card coming up here, and we have the Six of Wands behind that. So I feel like there is some sort of energy of being able to find out the truth or see the truth about something that perhaps you've had some inkling of, but you haven't quite been able to put your finger on it. The Six of Wands is a card that talks about victory, and I feel like here you're working with somebody that you finally have some proof on. You've got a family member that finally perhaps other people have started to see. Perhaps you've been trying to sort of speak up and say something for a long while, but people haven't listened to you, because if people are in this sort of very narcissistic energy, then they are able to convince people around them that they are the good person. They can often be quite damning towards you and make it look like they are the ones being badly treated. So whoever this person is, I feel like you're about to get some sort of advantage over them with this Six of Wands. It could be dealing with the King of Swords. This is Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy. So you could be dealing with somebody here who is cold, logical, doesn't ever see your point of view, or does not understand your point of view because of their own ideas. I feel like you're dealing with somebody here who is extremely selfish and self-centered, and they are not seeing your point of view. They are lacking in empathy for your point of view. But you see, when you get that sort of devil energy coming through, sometimes this person is very, very good at putting up a front and pretending there's something they're not. So I feel like here you're about to get some sort of advantage here. There appears to be some sort of action being taken here. Something that, oh wow, okay, something that's going to bring the tower down. If this is a romantic relationship or a partnership here you're dealing with, this is about to some sort of communication, and I'm not really sure that it's communication. It may be something that you are able to show, or perhaps somebody else has seen something that you have been trying to tell people. It's like the poop is about to hit the fan, as it were, because I have the tower here. So, you know, if you've been waiting for that redemption, that day, you know, when somebody else gets seen for who they are, I feel like it's coming. And I feel like with the tower energy here, there may be a whole lot of release with you, because finally you have perhaps been seen or validated for something you've been speaking up about. Right, for example, let's give you a good example. I had a worker once, I was working as a manager, and I had a worker who'd been working there for a long time, and when I first went in and was checking the books out, I could see that there had been dealings over the years where things had not been balanced, money had gone missing, other things had gone missing, but nobody had ever sort of spoken up or done anything. So I sort of started to dig in here because I knew that somebody was a problem. This particular person, every time I approached them, had a really good reason for why they were doing what they were doing. They were very defensive, and they were the one responsible for doing what needed to be done. Now, I'm not saying the person is a bad person, because I don't know why they were taking or stealing, and it could have been, maybe it was on spur of the moment, maybe it was because they were doing things tough, but whenever I tried to approach them to give them positive feedback or feedback about what they were doing or how they could do it differently, they became very defensive every time. So it became very, very difficult to deal with this person because of the ego issues. So what happened was it all fell apart one day and everything came to the surface. And I'd been trying to get people to listen to me, and all of a sudden something happened where everything came to the surface and it was all exposed. And then I found I got listened to. I figure with the King of Swords here, you know, this person more than likely had done something small to start with and then kept increasing to the point where it was very blatantly obvious what they were doing. It just had become unnoticed, and this person was very, very good at putting up a front for everybody. So it was very hard for them to see that's where the problem. Everybody knew there was a problem. Everybody had seen the problem, but nobody sort of looked at this particular person. Nobody could understand what was going on. But it all came out. All came out. There was a whole kerfuffle about it. You know, it resulted in all sorts of things going on, but eventually the light, it was there. But you see, when you see the tower, you realize, you know, all the mess that's created by that. So there's not only, you know, legal issues there. There was, you know, trying to fix up what had gone missing. You know, trying to understand, rebalance things. So you have to start all over again, because you have to lay the groundwork again to be able to start to understand what had happened along the way. So I can sort of see the Tower of going along, and I can also see the Two of Wands too, because this looks like, because of, as a result of this, that sounded really funny. As a result of this, there is a new direction now being opened up. So if this is a romantic relationship for you, either you're confronting the person and getting some sort of decision to move forward but in a different way, or whether you're going in a different direction here. The Two of Wands tells me a new path is opening up, and the Wheel of Fortune here is sort of, I feel like this whole thing may be weighing people down. It may have been a very difficult situation. You know, you may have had someone that did do the wrong thing, had lied, cheated, betrayed you in some way, shape or form. but nobody would believe it because they were coming up as such a very, well respected, let's say, person. And sometimes people like that can tell you things that they believe themselves. So, they absolutely are 100% trying to con you into believing that there's something they're not. But then eventually you see that and you start to realize that perhaps all the things you've been told all along haven't been the thing that you were really understanding from this person. If you are in a relationship with this person, you are more than likely doing the things you do. We all have done them in not so positive relationships, like starting to Google, starting to look things up, understanding you're dealing with a certain kind of person, and you may be speaking to people. You may even go to counseling because you think you're going mad here. So there is like this energy of gaslighting. So you may be starting to feel like it's you, and you may be seeking support or help in trying to understand why this is happening. Whatever is going on here, I feel like it is about to come to a close. It is about to become obvious what has been going on. And I really do feel like for some of you, you're dealing with someone who has a lot of narcissistic traits, and may be very dominant, very logical, but doesn't see that themselves. I've had a person who lied constantly to me, lied all the time. I knew that the lies were lies, but always maintained they were the truth. And I think, probably for most people, we want to trust people. We want to believe that they are telling us the truth. And when we realize it's not a truth, it can be quite devastating seeing that happen. But I feel like here you're dealing with somebody who probably has other people around you bluffed as well. What a different reading. Obviously, I'm getting to somebody here. So we have the Ten of Cups energy here. And I feel like this energy here is sort of like this feeling joyful, feeling elated, really feeling like somehow or another you've been validated for what you've been thinking, feeling, doing, whatever. There's nothing more. Because you don't want to speak up about things because you feel that you will be judged, and sometimes that judgment means that you feel you haven't been doing your work properly, or you haven't been doing what you need to do. And so there's a real feeling of not being enough. So you may not talk to people about it. That's called pride. And it's not a healthy thing. Pride is not a healthy thing. It's very unhealthy. But many of us have been brought up with this sort of strong sense of pride. So we don't want to ask for help. We don't want to say to people we're in trouble. We need someone to sort of talk to, whatever. And very often that's a good time to see a counsellor, because a counsellor doesn't know you from Adam. So they're really open about the whole thing. But when you get validated, when you're talking about something, you're finally validated for something you're feeling or seeing, it is such a good feeling. But if that person is portraying a person to the world that they're not, then it's very difficult to speak to people around you, because they will immediately jump to their defense, or, sort of not lay the blame on you, but question whether you have taken the right side or not. That happens all the time. So I feel like here with the Ten of Cups, there's this feeling of elation, feeling of really feeling good about something here. We have the Page of Cups coming up next to that with the Page of Pentacles. I feel like I had that energy yesterday, and the Death card coming through. So there is a really strong feeling here that this is going to bring all sorts of change on all different levels here. This just isn't a change in the situation. This is a change right the way through. You may be dealing with a water sign here. I've got strong water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, especially Scorpio here. So there's a real feeling here that this person has been particularly difficult for you to deal with. Now, I can't take it past the fact that this could be a work situation. Absolutely. You may be dealing with someone who's really dastardly here. I don't know. The energy is pretty tacky. It's not fearful. I'm not feeling scared or worried. I'm feeling this sense of frustration because perhaps I've been trying to tell people about this for a while, but nobody's been listening. So you may have been fixing things up after this person because nobody believed that they were who they were. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so we have the Chariot. So we have Cancer energy now. So a lot of water in this. We have the World, which I think is Capricorn or Saturn energy. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. So there's a brand new beginning coming for you here. There is a cycle closing down. There is forward movement. And I feel that there is, with this Ten of Cups, this tremendous sense of relief that finally something has been seen or brought to the surface, I want to say, because it's like that moon energy. It's like finally bringing some emotions to the surface. So I feel for you, there's a tremendous sense of finally being listened to, but you know, sometimes that sense of validation, not that we need external validation, this isn't about that, it's that I've been speaking up about it for so long and nobody has been believing what I've been saying, or other people have worn, you know, the energy of this person. If this is a relationship for you, you would have been questioning it for such a long time. Whether it was the right thing or the wrong thing, whether you are imagining things, because that's what happens. If you haven't seen the movie Gaslight, which was where the term gaslighting came from, in that he tries to drive his wife mad. Now, if you've ever dealt with someone who is narcissistic, sometimes they can make you feel like you're imagining things. So, you know, you say, but you said that, and then they'll say, no, I didn't. And you know that they did, but in the end you start to query your own sanity. You're like, maybe I didn't hear that then, maybe it wasn't like that. Or they'll tell you people around you don't like you, and then you're not sort of able to speak up and say anything because you think, well, these people don't like me. So you either start avoiding people, or you close yourself away, or you know, you start feeling really belittled because you wonder if these people like you or not. So there's a lot of manipulation into believing. I feel that I've dealt with this both at a professional level and a personal level, but one professional one ended up with me having a tremendous amount of destruction to me because I was always made to look like the liar. And I wasn't lying. So I want to say, whatever you're dealing with here, whether this is at work or in your home, I feel that I need to say to you, seek out someone to talk to so you are validated for the way you are feeling about this, but more so that you're validated that what you're feeling is real and that you need to sort of work out how to go forward with that. And that's not about tricking someone back or trying to trip someone up. That's pointless. What it is about is building your own resources to understand that you have the capacity to deal with this. All right. Okay, so we have the Five of Swords. So you're definitely walking away from something here. This could be another family member here. We have Virgo energy. I just got this really strong feeling here that you may be dealing with a family member. A mother, sister energy comes through very, very strongly here. This person is really, that the intensity of this person is more than likely jealousy, spitefulness. But I see you here taking time out with the Hermit and the Five of Swords to make some sort of decision on whether to move away. You may have tried to front this up, but maybe your family doesn't see it either. I feel that there's a real sense that perhaps things are hidden. This person may come across as being very genuine. They may be bad-mouthing you, which might mean that you're not looking like you have any integrity here. But there's definitely a decision here to move away from this energy. What's the last card? Wow, okay. And we have the King of Wands coming up at the end. I feel like somehow or another you're seeking help from someone here with this King of Wands. You may be seeking help. I just want to pull another card on that. Okay, and I have the Star card coming through. So I feel like there is somebody here who's going to maybe help, as in help or assist, but maybe somebody that you are sort of using their assistance or help to sort of move you forward in your chariot. So there's a very strong feeling here. There may be somebody around you that is seeing this, but because you're not talking to people, you're not finding that out. So the moment you start to talk to somebody, if they start defending this person, you may just back down. But I feel like somehow or another, somebody maybe, I'm feeling like a confidant, or somebody here is saying, I see it too. And that may set the ball rolling. That may be the very thing that starts things off. All right, so I have this sort of energy here that somebody around you is trying to pretend that they're somebody that they're not. And especially with the Devil card here, you may be dealing with someone who's putting up a front for everybody and everybody's believing it, but you're seeing the truth because you're on the receiving end. Whatever this is, there is some sort of victory coming through, and I feel like this person may have a hand in that. They may be somebody who takes you under their wing. You're dealing with somebody cold, calculating, logical. I feel like here there's some sort of action being taken that's going to result in the breaking down of something and rebuilding. I don't feel that this is a bad thing. It probably doesn't feel very comfortable because I see you moving in a new direction. And I love that the Wheel of Fortune is here, because I feel like that's saying here that the time is right for you to stand up for yourself, especially with that Victory card, and take a stand or make a stand. Actually, I need an Oracle card as well. A couple of cards wanted to come out there, so I'm going to have a look at them. All right, so we have the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Cups coming through. So I feel like there is something that is meant to end at this time, something that's created a great burden for you here. But the 9 of Cups tells me at the end of the day, you're going to be moving in a much better direction. You may be feeling very beaten up about this, so seeking counselling is probably a really good way for you to talk through what's happened. But I feel like you may have become so entwined in it. Watch the movie Gaslight. You may have become so entwined in this energy that you may have a lot of healing to do. So please make sure you do that. Alrighty. Oop. There it is. Your life is a canvas. Artist, manifestation, creative accountability. So maybe there have been a lot of lessons learned in this that you're going to need on your journey. It doesn't feel like it at the time though. You probably, like a lot of people, get into that sort of energy where they feel that they are to blame for what has happened or what has gone on, and that's the hardest part, getting through the blame. This is the last card in the book. You are the artist of your life, and your life is a canvas. Take responsibility for your ability to create. Earth is known as a planet of manifestation. Your present moment is based on your past thoughts and beliefs. Your current thought determines your future. What kind of life do you want to create for the future? What are you being called to create? I feel here that, you know, the universe is saying to you, no matter what, you still are whole and complete as you are. You are still able to create the life you want, even if at the moment you're feeling a little bit flat. If this is a workplace and they march this person out of the workplace, maybe you can stay and be able to bring yourself into some sort of nice equilibrium. But if it's a relationship, of course, you're going to move on and you're going to work. You may be able to work through this if it isn't as intense as what it feels. But I feel like maybe you've been putting up with it for such a long time that it's become quite draining on you. Whatever it is, I feel like the universe is saying to you here, you can recreate yourself, you can take yourself on a new journey, and you can start again. So I will leave you with that. Thank you.